Hey Nez, how you doing? It's your favorite dog group. My dad's running late. He told me to get the interview started. How you been?
Good. How are you, my favorite baby in the world?
I'm good. I'm good. How's my boy Lamar doing?
Lamar's doing great.
That's
He's
great.
almost in fifth grade, so he's getting big.
Tell him I said hello.
I will. I'll tell him Groot said hello.
All right, let's get this interview started. Dad's coming. Good boy. Thanks, Groot. Thanks, buddy. Sorry I was late.
Oh, it's okay. He was great.
Hey, how do you do? Oh, he's getting more treats right now.
Better host than you. I swear to
I
God.
know. I gotta like train him to stay there, right? That'd be fun. That was fun. Um,
Cute.
how we doing? And Inez, I gotta ask before we get started because I've heard this two ways. Is it Inez or Inez? Because I think I've heard you say
Oh,
Inez.
yeah. It's supposed to be Inez in Spanish, but everyone goes Inez. Laws calls me Inez. Like it just depends on where you're from. I honestly don't care how anybody says it. I like Nez. Like if you're my friend, like and you call me Nez, that's better than actually like my whole government name. So
Perfect. Yeah, and then that's easy. That just rolls off the tongue, and maybe that's why. Because I've heard Niko
yes,
call you Nez all the time, so I
yes,
just think Inez, but then I've heard people say Inez, and maybe that was laws. Yeah,
yeah.
um, that's funny.
Inez. He goes
But he's got
Inez.
Inez, and then your name is Reina, right?
No, no. That's
Oh,
so Reina de los Cerdos means Queen of the Pigs in Spanish.
oh, see, I didn't know that. I thought your name was Reina and Inez was a
No,
nickname. See that
Inez.
we're
No.
learning, and I'm your teammate. I should know this shit. Um, good stuff. So, guys, for anybody living under a rock, any of my followers who don't follow Strongman, Nez is the reigning two-time Rogue champion, Rogue Invitational champion, 2 years in a row, and the reigning defending Arnold Strongwoman Classic champion. I said that right? Strongwoman Classic.
Correct. Yep.
And she is about to defend her title this weekend in 2 days, 3 days, right? 3 days.
Ugh,
It's tonight,
yeah. Friday. Ugh, it's coming
Friday.
up.
Yeah, today's Tuesday, and I'm going to try and get this out either tonight or tomorrow, so it's be hot off the press. So we're going to talk about the Arnold. We're going to talk about a lot of stuff. So I don't think it's conjecture to say that you're like one of the greatest female strongman athletes of all time already, my opinion, and I think in many people others. So for those of you who don't know Nez, let's get to know Nez, including myself a little bit. Now, let
Yeah.
me ask you before we get started. I'm like, gotta look at my notes here. Um, do you remember? We've only met once, right? You did a seminar at my gym, which Niko put together. This was last year, right? Right around the same time you joined GWO, I think, right?
Yeah. It was
Something like
very,
that.
very like it was maybe like a month after if that.
Do you remember the first thing you said to me when you saw me?
Oh God. No, I don't.
No.
I'm nervous.
I walk in the gym, guys, and there's like a scramble to get down there on time, right? I get in there, and there's Ned standing there, and she goes, Dane, she goes, where's Groot? Which
I
Groot is
knew
my
it
dog.
involved Groot. Yep.
Yep. And she said because we've been following each other, and then she likes my dog. Everybody loves Groot more than me. Most people watch my Instagram for Groot. And she said, "Dude, where's Groot?" And I was like, "Oh, I didn't bring him. Like I kind of thought about it, but it was a seminar, you know." And she goes, "Dude, go get him." And the seminar's about to start. My wife was coming too. We took separate cars. So I said, "Steve, is it cool?" Steve's the owner of the gym. I said, "Is it cool if I bring Groot?" And he said, "Yeah." So we had my dog at a professional seminar, and he hung out with Lamar. It was awesome. I think Lamar enjoyed hanging out with him. Lamar loves dogs. So
He wants to be a dog trainer when he grows up. So
yeah,
he was
yep. So and
prepping.
Groot had a lot of fun down there. So thank you for letting him come. Um,
Hmm.
all right, so let's get
Got
into
to
it.
bring it to Arnold.
What's that?
I can't compete without my emotional support Groot. So you have to bring him to the Arnold. So
Oh man, that would be awesome, wouldn't it?
oh yeah.
I wish. Like, there's been some local comps where I've wanted to bring them, but like, not sure. When they're outdoors, I'll bring them, but I don't want them to interrupt anybody, and I don't want to have to keep a close eye on them, because I like to volunteer and help out. All right, so let's talk a little bit about, and if you don't mind, what I'd like to do is I ramble, Nez, and I'm going to try and let you talk more than me, but these things tend to go like 45 minutes to an hour and a half. I would love it if we could keep it somewhat short, get everything we want to get in, and then maybe have you back on after the Arnold, do like a recap or something in a week or two when things
I'd
settle
love
down.
to.
That's cool.
Love
Awesome.
to.
Let's talk about so since I've gotten to know you, right? I don't know too much about your past, but people do. Um, when you joined the GWO just last year and your past coaching, right? I know you've said a lot on your story about you were really down and out with Strongman. You thought about retiring, maybe like some emotional stuff. Maybe I don't know if it was the way you were treated. You want to talk about that a little bit, like what you were feeling right when you joined our team?
Yeah. So it you ever have the feeling of just like being put down every single day? And it was just after the Arnold, it kind of like dawned on me that it was like strongman was becoming more of a negative thing than it was like a positive thing for me. And it's kind of crazy saying that because like I just came from a North America's win, Rogue win, Arnold win, and I'm like I'm on this upward trajectory, but I feel so beat down, so run down, and I was kind of just like, why am I doing this anymore? Like what is the point if I'm not happy? Like I started strongman because I hated powerlifting. Is this the same thing? You know what I mean? So I kind of was just like, I don't know what to do. And I vented to Niko and I was just like, hey, like I don't know what to do anymore. Like I'm either just gonna retire or like I'm just gonna like do it. And he goes, yo, you're not retiring. Like I'm gonna coach you and it's gonna be good. He's like, if you would give me the honor to coach you, like I will coach you. And like, and I trust Niko. Like he's someone that even from like, oh my God, I think it was OSG 2021 is where we met. It was a long time ago. And he was always like posting on Instagram, like, this is the girl to watch. He's always hyped me up. Like
Yeah,
my
yes.
log performance. Yeah, my log performance at OSG 2021. He was like, that was like one of the number one things I've ever seen in the sport of strongman. Like I hit like 13 reps or something on that log. And he was just like, that's the girl to watch, you know, whatever. So he's always been like a huge supporter of me. And I kind of just like felt really safe. And I was like, I think it'd be really cool to join a team where like very like-minded people, like everyone works really hard on this team. Like everyone's very supportive. And like, I was like, I think I needed that. I needed to
Yeah.
feel like I was being a part of something again, you know? And you know, ever since joining, like it's just been it was very difficult at the start because like the programming was very different and like you know the way Niko coaches is different. But like once we like kind of like meshed, it was just like I'm getting better. And I was like, there's been a point where I've heard, oh, she can't get any better. And I'm like, no, like there were things like Niko and I were like, Niko was like, you're terrible at this. You're not good at this. I'm not going to blow smoke up your butt about this. He's like, you have weak, like the other day, he was like, you have weak triceps, weak pecs. Not good, not good. And I was always like, oh, I didn't know that. Like, I've always been told otherwise or like whatever. So it was kind of cool to get like a fresh set of eyes on me too,
Yeah.
where it was like, what can I work on to get better? And then I went into Rogue and it proved that like,
Oh, you proved without a
get
doubt.
better.
Yeah, you look
Yeah.
incredible. And he's been such a huge fan of you for so long that he
Yeah.
probably follows you closer than he would other people. So like he was probably ready made to be your coach, right? And it's funny because I've noticed this about Niko since I've known him really before he was my coach. Because I've known Niko going on almost 6 years now because he's local to
Oh, wow.
me.
Yeah.
Only been on the team for 3 years almost, but he's a huge fan of the sport, right? First and foremost,
Yes.
he's for an open heavyweight strongman. He's a huge fan of the ladies, right? And that's something
Yeah.
I haven't always been, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit. And a lot of guys just aren't, right? It's something I want to talk about. But with your like not feeling great about strongman, was any of that like self expectations too, or was it just people around you maybe pushing you harder than you wanted to be at the time?
I think it was a little bit of both. And like once you start winning big titles, like coming from like fifth place and breaking my face to like winning my first world title, I was just like, this is a lot, you know, and like a lot of followers, a lot of people messaging me, a lot of like things were going on. And I was just like, I'm not used to this. I'm kind of like, I kind of always felt like the girl in the background, you know what I mean? Kind of just
Yeah,
like fifth place, mid pack, kind of shows up, does her thing on the overhead and kind of like, she's okay. You know what I mean? She's not great, but she's like on the cusp of something great, you know? And then once I won Rogue, it was just like, whoa, like
yeah,
he is good. And I won by what, 6 or 7 points. So it wasn't just like a half point, like, oh, she like sneaked a win. It was no, like I took it and ran with it. I won 3 out of 6 events. And then
right,
this year I won 3 out of 6 events. So it's like
yeah,
I I'm good. And like I've always thought to myself, like I am good. I just don't know what I need to do to get better because I've always been told, like, oh, you're perfect at this, you're perfect at this. And it's like, I'm
yeah,
not. I'm not like if you put me, if I had 2 deadlifts in a show, count me out. You know what I mean? Like I'm not good at deadlifting. And Niko
yeah,
was like, that's one thing we're gonna start drilling is the deadlift. Like your form sucks. Like we need to start drilling your strict press because you know what? You have weak triceps. You can't finish a lift. If your split jerk fails, you can't press anything out. You know what I mean? And it's true. Like there have been moments where like at the Arnold last year with the log, I was only able to get it for one. I've hit that log for 5 reps, easy. But I dropped the rock on my head. I kind of got a little disoriented, and I'm not good at like composing myself in the moment. And that's something else, Niko, is like, you don't compose yourself. Like, you need to learn how to like manage a situation and not freak out about it. You have to be in the moment where it's like something happens, you look over and I'm going to tell you what to do. You know what I mean? And we have plans like that at the Arnold this year. Like, hey, if this isn't working out, I need you to look at me and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. And like, we're going to fix it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's just that support that he has too is just crazy, because he is such an eye for things. And like, that's helped me with my training a lot, because I will send him a video and I'd be like, oh, this is great. He'd be like, what was that? And I'm like, what? Like, oh no,
Yeah,
like
he'll
that
give
was
you that. He'll give you that feedback, right?
yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to hear. I don't know if he's ever been tough. I'm sure knowing Niko, I'm sure he's been tough on you. Because there's been times he's had those conversations with me, and it's like, what this guy just say to me? Like, doesn't he know I won 3 local competitions before I joined him? And it's like, but he's right.
Yeah.
He'll give you the hard feedback, but like it's always honest and deserved. And he does a
Yeah.
great job, I'll say, and you probably will agree, of you're not necessarily doubling down on your strengths, right? You want to maintain your strengths, and if not, get even better, pad your world records, because you have a few, I think. But he makes you work on those weaknesses and bring them up while you're maintaining the strength. And
Yeah.
like let's be honest, if you get your deadlift, if you could put like 5 to 10% on your deadlift, you're winning shows by even more points. There's so much meat on the bone on that deadlift, right? Whereas
Oh,
putting 5% on your overhead, okay, cool. Now you're going to win the overhead by 30%. You don't need to, right? Until somebody starts
exactly.
asking you.
Exactly.
And then, so it's funny because you unpacked 2 things I want to talk about real quick. Um, one thing, one thing I've noticed that's great about Niko, maybe for you too, because I saw you guys interacting at the Rogue, especially the embrace after the Rogue. When he comes to the show, right? Like maybe in that moment you drop a rock on your face. I don't think he was there for that one, right? But
He
like
handled me at Arnold, so he
he
actually
oh
was there.
okay, yep. And or like the when you tripped with the duck walk at the Rogue, right? Like he probably can pull you aside. All right, Nez, let's move on. You're fine. Like relax, get you out of your own head so that you can just attack the next event, right? I think he had a great strategy for you on the stones too, because your foot was already broken, right?
My foot was broken on the last 3 events, so my
Right.
broken on the third event. Yeah,
And
so
by the time you got to the stones, if I remember right, you just needed to do just enough because you would have had the win in the bag. So it's like, hey, let's not go crazy, even though you did great on the stones, but like make sure we don't
yeah,
snap
like you
that
don't
foot
need
on
to
the
rush
first
that.
stone. Yeah.
He's like, you'll win the show if you just finish. He's like, if you drop it, we're gonna have some problems. He's like, so just don't drop it, finish it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And like Olga made a big mistake, and she didn't clear the third stone, fell on the floor. You know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
that's how it was able to slip in. And like, but that's another thing Niko says. It's like, if you rush things and like you don't pay attention to things, like mistakes happen. And he called me on the group chat the other day about like picking my wedgie out and like
Oh
wasting
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I'm like, I don't think of these things, but he sees all that. And it's like, yeah, that was like 2 seconds. I could have shaved off my time, but
Yeah.
I was busy being distracted. And like, sometimes you need a person to kind of get you out of that distraction. And like, you know what I mean? Especially at a show, because there's so many distractions. If you've ever been in the back of like a big show, it's like OSG or something. It's like chaos. Everyone's warming up. Everyone's getting a deadlift suit on. Everyone's changing. Everyone's doing something. Everyone's like,
Yeah.
you got to eat, you got to drink, you got to do this, you got to. And it's just like, you sometimes just need that one person to be like, hey, sit down. Here's your lip gloss. That was his job. Here's your lip gloss. Put your gloss on, drink a sip of water, and I need you to chill. Okay.
Yeah.
Put
Yep.
your headphones on and ignore everything else for about 30 minutes because you have time.
Yep.
And like sometimes you're just like in that moment where you're like, it's just so much. And I'm autistic. So like when something's going on, I'm like, whoa, what's going on over there? What's going on over there?
Yep.
I want to know what they're talking about. I want to know what's going on over there. And it's like, you know what? No. But at Rogue, it's fun because I could watch the CrossFitter. So I can literally park myself in front of the TV and just
Just
watch the
chill.
CrossFit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get
And
your
it's
mind off
like,
things.
that's my time where I'm just, I love watching the CrossFit. I
Yep.
love watching what they do. So I'm like, it's
Yeah.
my thing.
For me, I've learned, like, it's funny because at OSG, Niko said something. He's like, dude, like, stop walking around and talking to me. I was going around making a video with like Lucas Hatton and
Yep.
all the guys, like, hey, let's do a walk around. Niko's like, dude, you're going on in like 8 minutes. Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, Niko, I said, dude, I'm good. I'm warmed up. I said, I'm ready to go. And I said, dude, I turn it on when my name is called. Like when I'm in the tunnel and that 60 seconds, some people turn it on too soon and they have an adrenaline dump. When they say
Yes.
Dane's up and I'm walking to that podium or whatever, walking out to the stage, that's when I turn it on and it serves me well. But it's funny because like I might be different than a lot of guys for Niko. Um,
Yeah.
with so it's great, guys, to have a coach. I try and like do anecdotal things where like I talk to the crowd. If you don't have a coach, grab a partner. I always say if you go to a regional show, try and buddy up with another strongman, hopefully in a different class. So you're warming up at different times and he can help you, you can help him. Maybe it's something as stupid as like helping to get tacky, whatever it is. But the difference, if you guys are looking for a coach, the GWO, the roster's kind of full right now. I'm sure Niko, every once in a while, he accepts new clients. But what's great is he tries to get to as many shows as he can. He obviously can't fly around the country going to novice shows, right? He's there for you. He's there for Evan. He's at OSG. He's at the big ones, right? And it's fantastic having him. Luckily, he's 45 minutes away from me, so he's at pretty much all my shows. Even when he was filming Harpoon Hunters, he made time to come to my OSG qualifier, and it was instrumental because there was things he noticed that other guys, like the crash pads, were shooting out on Axel, right? They were shooting out
Yeah.
after a couple reps. Nico's like, Dane, pull those pads in close and don't treetop it too much. And it changed everything because the Axel's running away on people. And I tied for first in that event. So guys, make sure you're not hiring just a programmer, hire a coach, somebody you can have a
Yeah.
communication with, right? And there's a relationship that has to be earned, right? You're a world champion, right? And he was your friend. So you might get a little more than somebody hiring somebody brand new, but it takes time. And I'm going to talk to Niko about that when I have him on, about coach-client relationship.
Yeah.
Last thing about the past, I guess, with the expectations of winning, right? Do you feel like, and maybe this is a little bit of my own thing going on, you kind of maybe exceed expectations? Like, maybe did you expect to win the Rogue? Obviously, we go into a show expecting to win. We want to win. That's the goal. But did you expect to win it that first year?
The first year, no, not at all.
So
I was not.
after, right? So after you win it, right? And we all say I'm going for the win, but we know we have levels to this stuff, right? After you win it, is there like that little bit of a post show letdown where you're like, man, I achieved the goal, I can chill for a little bit? Because like the champion, people are hungry to get to the top, and then that lion at the top of the hill, they say, which lions don't live on hills, but is it hungrier than the wolf at the bottom of the hill, whatever the analogy is, right? How do you stay hungry to keep coming back to defend your title? Because they say it's harder to defend than to win it the first time.
I think it's harder to defend because you always kind of like have a target on your back. Like I always feel like that's the girl to beat.
Yeah.
That's the one you got to, they're coming for you. They're coming for you. They're watching your week. They're watching you. And I post everything. I post my fails. I post everything because first
I
of
love
all,
it.
we need attention on the sport, first of all. And if you're not posting, no one's going to know we're even competing.
Mhm.
And then second off, because I don't care. Like I want you to see what I'm doing. I want to see what you're doing. Like I want to know what I need to work on. Like if my biggest competitor is Olga and I haven't seen her lift one time, I go in and I'm like, man, I wonder how she looks. You know what I mean? And we don't know till warm-ups.
Yeah.
And that's boring to me. I like to know like where I'm at. I get hungry by like seeing what people are getting better at. Like Lucy's been posting a lot of her overheads. She just hit like a 260 log. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yes, let's go.
Yeah.
Because that pushes me because
Right.
I'm like,
You fire each other up.
exactly. And that's the kind of thing that fires me up, and like I stay hungry for the win just because like I have a legacy that I want to build. I do want to be the GOAT of Strongwoman. And like I don't think I have that title right now because I need to win a few more things before I can like call myself that. But like I'm the first winner of Rogue. I'm the defending champion of Rogue. I've won Arnold. But like people will be like, oh, but you didn't win America's. You didn't win OSG. You didn't win this. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm trying to like I call them Infinity Stones. That's what Niko and I call them. You know what I mean?
That's
like
awesome.
They're trying to collect all these.
I like that.
Like I guess I stay. I guess it's hard to stay on top because everyone just gets better. And there's a certain point where like I tell Niko, I'm like, hey, but this prep for me was different than any other prep I've ever done in my life because the other preps, it was like one after another, boom, boom, boom. I don't have any breaks. I had surgery in December. I was out for like 2 months. So I sat on the couch for 2 months, didn't do anything. My back feels better. Like my hamstring that was injured earlier in the year was able to heal. My elbows, my tendonitis is almost gone. Like I was able to kind of like recover things. So like going into the short prep that I had, I was like, feel pretty good. Like I can
Yeah,
move. I can, I'm limping still because like beginning of the prep, like we were like, all right, you're a little limpy still, so let's not, push the gas too
yeah,
much. And like I didn't split jerk until like 4 weeks out. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So it's like there's a lot of things that I had to do to like get to this point. And I guess I stayed hungry this prep, because I was like, everyone's already counting me out. Maybe not everybody, but a lot of people are counting me out. I wasn't even supposed to be here. You know what I mean? Like
hmm
I broke my foot and tore a tendon. I had surgery. Like I should not even be a contender to win. But I love proving people wrong. I
yeah.
love showing up and being like, no, like I worked hard and you're gonna have to get through me to get to
Yeah.
what you want,
It's funny. It's human nature. I've asked polls like this on my Instagram, right? And it's always a funny one when you think deep like this, because it's human nature to let the haters fuel you more than like your supporters, right? You might have 5 or 10% of people who follow you or fellow competitors ever counting you out, saying maybe the foot's not ready, whatever, right? I'm not saying that's what they're saying, but things that are negative that fire you up, right? Like, yeah, F you, I'm going to prove you wrong. But you could have 90% of your fans, like young girls around the world, whatever, saying, Nez, you're the best. I love you. Can't wait to see you win and support you. And you want to prove them right too. And that's the right reason. But man, doesn't those haters drive us even more, right? Which we're going to talk about haters in a little bit too.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's true because once you're counted out in your mind, you're like, absolutely not. Like, I'm stubborn. I don't like to be counted out. And like, I've always been counted out, I feel like, from since starting my strongman career because, yeah, I won the local show. I won, Beast of the Bluegrass, which got my Arnold invite. But then my first OSG tied for third, got fourth because of stones. My biggest weakness was like stones.
Yeah.
I hated tacky. I hated stones. I never wanted to train them. And then I was like, I got to get used to this. I got to get a callus. I got to get used to it. It sucks, whatever. But like people were like, oh, she's right there. She's right there. She's right there. And it is always so frustrating to hear podcasts talking about like the predictions. Like, she's good at this, but she has big glaring weaknesses here. And that kind of like fueled me to be like, that's what I want to work on. Like, and then now in literally like 2 months, next month, I'm going for 2 world records. You know what I mean? I
Awesome.
made something I hated into something that I love, So that's what I do too. And a lot of people don't like to do that. Like a lot of people are like, hey, I suck at log. I'm not touching the log. I'll just take my loss right there. It's like, no, if I suck at something, like I want to drill it all week.
Yeah.
Like that's why my deadlifts are like crazy because Niko's like, nope, like you got to deadlift and you got to do a lot of sets. You're doing 8x3 this week, or you're doing this, you're doing EMOM, you're doing this. And I'm just like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
I'll do it.
It's
I'm going to
funny.
complain, but I'm going to do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. You like Inez is always in the group chat we're gonna talk about too, complaining a little bit here and there. Niko's like, yeah, another complaining, right? And they have these emojis and stuff they send. But like, guys, for instance, how strong Nez is, I was in prep and I was struggling with my deadlifts. My back's always bothering me kind of. And on my AMRAP, sometimes I never take it easy, but it's tough to go to that place. And I made a reel about it. One day Nez had an AMRAP with like I think 435, and you hit 8 or 9, whatever it was. It was a good set. I think it was a great set for you at the time. You said it. And I had deadlifts that day and I had 455. And I'm like, all right. I was like, I gotta get at least what Nez got. I said, I'm going for 10. I said, I gotta get fucking 10. I made a reel about it and I hyped up the squad. I remember Niko said, dude, like that's when I said, you in Avengers when Loki says we have a Hulk, I said, well, we got a fucking Nez on the team. And she's
I love that so much.
you're pushing me, right? And I'm a 231-pound man, Now we got Burley on the team, which is awesome. And we'll talk about the commodity. We'll talk about the stone record, but maybe we'll save that for like the recap after the Arnolds, because that's like a future thing.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And then one thing I make notes if you see me looking over here, because I forget when we talk, my mind, I just go all over the place, right? So I make some notes like, oh wait, I want to ask her about that. When you said you had 2 months sitting around on the couch, sometimes force stress is the best. Now, not an injury. I've never had a major injury, knock on wood. But like sometimes I've heard like when you have to take time off because like we just want to keep grinding, right? If you didn't hurt your foot, you were going to do OSG if I remember right.
I was going to do OSG, correct?
Right. And
tickets, I got everything. Yep.
Yeah, and if your foot was not fully broken, you might have done OSG. Guess what? Maybe you would have injured it more and not been able to make it to the Arnold, right? And
exactly.
So sometimes that force stress is the best. And then it's also tough. You said, you want to do Americas, you maybe want to do OSG because you don't have an OSG title yet either, right?
I got third place as my best placing.
Yep. So of course, it's a show you can absolutely win, right? But like when you got the Rogue and the Arnold bookended, fall and spring every year, whatever it is, right? how much time do you have to jump into other shows, but also bring your best to the biggest shows, also where there's good prize money, because you're a professional strong woman, you got a child to raise on your own, prize money is important too. So like legacy is like, yeah, well, my legacy is raising my child as well, I would assume, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah, 100%.
yep. Forced rest. So that's another thing. And I wonder when Niko will do it to you, because like this is one of those ones where early in my training with Niko, we did nationals, was our first prep. And then he forced me to do like a 6 to 8 week off season with just a lot of like bodybuilding stuff, no deadlifting, no big squats. And I'm like, dude, what am I doing? All my homies right after a show, they're hitting PRs and then they're still deadlifting heavy, squatting heavy, benching heavy, overhead heavy. And I didn't believe in it. I'll be completely honest. And he said, Dana, I have a vision, blah, blah, blah. And we did it. And then we did our first round of shows. And then we did a little off season. And then we did the OSG qualifier. And ever since then, with a good long off season, with all the GPP and all the stuff he had me build, we took off like a rocket ship, right? And I'm 41 years old. I don't expect to win big shows like this, but like just making it for me is a dream come true. And I owe a lot of that to Niko. And the unfortunately, sometimes we don't want to hear it, but it's like, yeah, we got to give our bodies a break.
Yeah.
So it's boring.
I literally think hurting myself at Rogue, that it was like God's way of saying, sit down for a minute. Like, because I've been going. I've done, I don't even know how many shows I've done anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I've done so many. My first year of Strongman, I did like, 7 or 8 shows. Like, I was just knocking them out. I was having fun. But it was like, take us, like, you just push yourself to the brink. You know what I mean? Like, I saw Olga misstep on that power stairs and I said, hit the gas. And that was like I hit the gas too hard. I rolled my ankle, which sprained my ankle. I dropped the pin on my foot. It broke my foot. I got back up real quick because I still saw her. I could see her in the corner of my eye, and I'm like,
you were, for those who don't know, you were dominating. You were flying. I'm like, holy shit. Cause that was if I remember right, that was the first event where we really were going to see your athleticism under Niko. Cause I think you had the Viking press, you had a deadlift. That was the first moving event. And I was watching, right? And I wanted to talk about this too, because now that I know you, I'm invested in you, right? And like I'm watching, I'm like, holy shit, like she's doing it. Because I was curious to see how much better of an athlete you were going to be. Like you're obviously a great athlete, but you're very statically strong, and that's carries you to high points there. And I'm like, dude, this is manifest destiny, dude. She's doing it. Like she is dominating this event. And when you fell, you still had time, but you fell twice, if I remember right. Or you got to
my ankle gave out again as soon as I got to my ankle was sprained. So my ankle just gave out as soon as I hit the thing. I still got third on the event, which is like, really? I got third? Like, damn it. But I got
third on every event, you're probably winning the show,
Yeah. And I was like, okay, cool. Like I got third, but I was like, I got to the top of the steps and I'm like, something's wrong. I was like, oh no. I was like, that's just not, because I played volleyball my whole life. I rolled my ankles a million times. But when I got up there, I was like, the medic was like, you good? I was like, give me a second. I was
and like, that was day one, right?
Day one.
Yeah. So unfortunately, like the adrenaline wears off the next day. Like if you had 3 more events that day, probably wouldn't even notice, right? Like not notice, but But that
The next day I woke up and I'm like, Niko, it's bad. My foot was purple, black, blue, every color, and I'm like, my toes are purple. The side of my foot was like that fat, and I was like,
the next day you had the hay bale thing, right? That big bale you had to push
that one. I had to split jerk the axle, and I'm like, oh my god! Yeah. And my back foot was that foot, the foot that's bent, and I'm like, I got to land on that bent foot. That's why my split jerk looks so funny. People are like, what happened to your split? And I'm like, I was mostly push pressing it at that point because I was like, luckily I can whip out a push press if I need to. People are always like, she can only split. No, I can push press. My best push press in the world. You don't have to. Yeah, I'm like, if you can split jerk, why would you waste your energy on a push press?
People say it about hitching a deadlift, and then it finally took me until I saw a Lucas Hatton podcast. He's like, dude, I'm much more efficient hitching my deadlift and ramping it, and I save energy. So I do that even when I'm not tired yet. Because like people in my gym will talk shit like, "Oh, bro, you ramp your deadlifts." It's like I don't care. I do strongman. I'm not a powerlifter anymore. Like fuck off. It doesn't matter how I get it from point A to point B. Exactly. Yeah. And Lucas Hatton unlocked something for me because I'm like, dude, I'll just hitch right from the get go. I don't want to waste time, but like instead of waiting to like rep 7, 8, 9 when I'm really gassed, I'll hitch around rep 4 because like when I'm hitching up my quads, I use so much less energy on my low back, which is
and that's what you need. Like I got back problems too, so I know.
we all do. We do strongman. So yeah. So all right. Yeah. So you had the Rogue. the foot injury, the forced rest. I think that's a good segue. You said something else I wanted to talk about, but I forgot already. So we'll move on. Um, I will say any of you guys out there, any of you teams, like if you guys have a coach team and you don't have an Instagram group chat, you got to get one. Niko has the GWO chat, and I'll tell you, it's been a breath of fresh air. When you join the chat, we always had good energy in there, right? But you were the first woman on the team, so like, and I've been there almost 3 years, 2.5 years when you joined. We got Big Dan McGuire, Pro Strongman, Bo Bathory, a couple big guys, but like, guys, big strongman can get a little introverted, don't talk a lot, and Niko's a big tough guy, right? So like, but then you join and it's like, just say what's on your mind, and like we joke around, like there's a lot of camaraderie in there, and it's just been awesome. And then we got Burley in there, and Burley's not shy at all, so it's just the dynamic changed, and it really feels like even more of a team than it already felt like. And obviously the team's grown exponentially. But like Evan Singleton's in there busting up balls. Evan Singleton made fun of me. I didn't think he watched my stories, and he said I look like a vacuum salesman when I shaved. It's hilarious.
What a very specific thing to like make fun of you for, though. That's amazing.
Yep. I got back at him. I put the T-Rex headband on the next week. I said, "How do I look now?" And he said, "You look
right."
But like just having the camaraderie in there, we bust each other's balls. We'll send some of our lifts, say, "Hey, looking good," or whatever. Niko, because the chat's full, he has a couple chats, and in like the other chat, some up and comers are in there, and they'll just ask advice, and it's a great spot to be in. So anybody who's listening to this, if you're on a team, ask your coach to put together a team chat if you don't have one already, and most people do. So it's been great having you in there. We already kind of one of my questions is, what do you like about Niko's training style, like the level of communication, the support you get? But we already talked about that a little bit. What about you're feeling pretty good, right? It's different, right? You're training differently than you did in the past. You like what he does for you, and how athletic you feel and stuff like that?
I used to train 5 days a week, so going down to 4, I was kind of like, ooh, that's maybe a little nervous. You know what I mean? But I like the extra rest day. I'm doing just as much cardio as I was before. Niko really does believe in cardio, and I tell people, I'm like, I may not be the fastest, but I can keep up. You know what I mean? I don't need to like, I can hit the gas, like, and that's something that a lot of people fail, is like they're gassed out too quick. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, no, I can finish an event and I'm walking off the event while some people are lying on the floor needing oxygen. Yeah, you know what I mean? So it's like,
you do well with that.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm a big girl. I'm not tiny, but like, I competed at Arnold around 280. I think I was like 285 at Arnold last year. I was very heavy. I competed at Rogue around 270 something, like 276. So I lost about 10 pounds. And now I'm down to like 248, which is not the best. Yeah, it's not that we're going to be in the same weight class today, and it's going to be crazy. No shit. I know I'm
might have to face each other someday.
Yeah, it'd be fun. But yeah, but like I run a lot, and like Niko's like, you need a sprint, you need to run, you need to like take less rest time. Like we do EMOMs, we do a lot of like things that are like, it's cardio, but it's like fun because it's like you're not really like thinking it's cardio.
Yeah.
Because I can't just like walk on a treadmill for 20 minutes. I'm not the type of person. I don't want to do that. I'd rather like, no, you're gonna run with the sandbag, and then you're gonna do sandbag to shoulder, and then you're gonna sprint back to the assault bike, and then you're gonna. So it's like it's kind of like CrossFit-y stuff. I like that.
Yeah,
stuff.
And it gets your adrenaline going, right? Like, yeah. And then he might give you a metric and like, hey, try and do it under this time. You did it this time last time. Shoot for this. What he did with me this time is he pitted me against Burley. He's like, just so you know, Burley did this in this time. See if you can do it. I'm like, well, all right, get game on, and it pushes me a little bit more. Hopefully, we've got some really great women on the team who are also doing the Arnold. Maybe one of them can push you a little bit, right? Because it's hard. It's hard when you get to that level. It's hard for anybody to push you, right? But
Katie's overhead is pushing mine, so it's like that helps me because I'm like, yo, she just hit like a one. What is she, like a 175 dumbbell? Like,
yeah,
and that's we're at the show, that's when you're peaked. I don't say you're peaked in prep. You're peaked when you hit the show, and that's where your max capacity to do stuff at.
Yeah,
at rest or whatever.
If you don't hit 400-pound logs like our boy Bo 2 weeks out,
you're not supposed to do that. But I've been rested.
It was epic.
So I've been good. It was 400 is insane, but you know what I mean. But it's like I've been good. So I'm like, I'm very well rested, but I'm like, I'm ready to peak at the Arnold, and they're actually doing a 205 dumbbell for the women. They're rolling one out to finish the ladder for an unofficial world record,
Oh,
which
awesome.
would be really awesome. I know we only have 90 seconds, but like, you never know. You know what I
See what
mean? Like,
happens.
there's been some girls that have been hitting some crazy dumbbells. I hit 197 in training.
No.
I hit it on my left arm too, which was like, whoa, okay.
Do you think
That's
so let's circle back to like the body weight thing, right? You you don't necessarily feel any weaker, right? Like maybe you don't feel as strong per se in like an axle or a log, but like you got to feel your deadlift leverage has got to feel great, right? And I was going to say also, do you find that your circus dumbbell, because your circus dumbbell's gotten much better recently? Do you think that's just the training, or like I do the Novikov where I kind of shoot my hip to the side, catch it? You know, do you feel like maybe carrying a little less body fat is increasing your mobility?
it's actually crazy. Like my deadlift has gotten kind of worse just because of my foot.
Oh, okay.
Because I haven't been able to push my toe into the ground, like like you're supposed to push your whole foot, whatever. So like Niko and I've been working on that, and we're trying to like figure out the best way to like do that. We're getting there. It's just something I have to deal with. But mechanically, like I'm able to do the sets and I feel better, but my overhead's better than it's ever been. My overhead,
Really?
like I hit comp weight on the over comp weight on the log. It was 5 pounds over for 5 in like 90 seconds.
Oh
Like,
yeah, that was epic. Yep, I saw that.
but I'm able to clean without being gassed out. Before
Yes.
I'd be like out of breath and I'm like, I can't breathe. I can't clean the damn log. Like if you
Yep.
can't breathe, you're not
Yeah.
pressing.
So guys, what
So
Niko does to us, I'm probably sharing trade secrets, but he hammers us, hammers us with cleans. I don't know about you,
yes.
Nez. In my USS Nats prep, there was days he would like multiple days. He would have me go in on a Saturday on event day and just do like clean EMOMs and like AMRAP cleans, no pressing. I'm like, dude, why am I not pressing? I need to get better at pressing. And he's like, no, you need to have the cardio to hit that third or fourth or fifth or sixth rep in that 1 minute. And it's tremendous. And clearly, as you just said, it's working for you as well, right?
Yeah, because my comps are clean every rep. We never press away. So it's like
Yeah.
if you can't get past the third clean and you're gassed out, what's the
they
point? You know
they
what I mean?
gotta they gotta find some way to make you not look invisible, Des. Like if they give you a press off blocks or a press away, like the Viking press, like
Yes.
you're like
Try.
world breaker Hulk. For those of you who follow comics, I think it's world breaker Hulk. He's like the biggest version of Hulk ever. They need to bring you down to like Professor Hulk level and give people a chance.
Yeah, no, I can clean. I will, and then because we've had the 10-inch log for so long now, I've gotten really good at cleaning the 10-inch log. I struggled very hard with the log, Rogue prep, the first Rogue, because it was a 10-inch log, and I was having a lot of trouble, like because it was after the farmer, so I was gassed a little bit, and then just cleaning it 3 times, I'm like, oh my god! And then by the third clean, I couldn't get it over the tatas, and I was like, drop it.
You had a 10-inch and now you have 12, or it's still 10, but
It's
you
10 inch still.
it,
Rogue and Arnold's always a 10-inch for us, which
10.
is I don't like it. I complain about it every
Yep.
time. I like the 12-inch, but like you gotta do what you gotta do. So I got good at it. And
Yep.
now I think I'm famous for this, but that 90-degree back bend that I'm able to do, that started with stone to shoulder. I never was able to do that until the stone to shoulder event in Arnold, but I'm able to bend back. So when I clean the log, if I'm getting stuck, I can literally lean back and just roll it on top of me now, which is like
Oh, really?
really,
That's a strong
yeah.
low back. Kind of like how
I
Mitchell Hooper finished his presses, like he's way back and he just like leans forward.
it just
It's
stands up.
crazy how
Yeah.
people have like the back power. I would fold over.
And it's crazy that I have that because like I have nerve damage in my back for my C-section. So I'm like, I don't know how I'm able to do the things that I'm able to do. Like,
Well, you do it well,
Pierce,
Nez. All right, so good stuff. Couple, let's do like two more things. And so one thing I want to talk to you about, and I did clear this one with Nez, guys. I don't want it because I didn't want to like blindside her, but like dealing with social media hate, right? Because it can be a touchy topic. And what's funny is I don't know if you ever go in and like delete people's negative comments, because I actually, when I thought about asking this question, because we've talked about it in the past, and recently I've talked to our teammate Morgan Irons about it because somebody gave her shit about wearing war paint, and it's like fuck off. Who cares if somebody wears war paint at a show? If it's not your thing, fine, but you don't have to say it. It's okay to have your own thoughts about other people, but to go on social media and actually type it, I would have more respect for somebody who maybe said it in person, even though you shouldn't do that. it's unsolicited. As I was curious. So what I did is I kind of looked at some of your recent posts and I just looked through the comments, right? I do my study and I didn't see anything negative. And I'm like, wow, are people just being positive lately? Is there a change in society? Or I was curious if maybe you deleted comments. But how do you deal with it? Because it is, I mean, we all see it, right? And I know the OSG situation didn't help this year, but you know, being a male, like they say, people have like privilege, right? Like obviously, I'm a white man, I have white privilege, but I also have male privilege, right? The only hateful comment I've ever gotten on my Instagram in 7 years is that I have small calves once, and even that bothered me. I'm like, motherfucker, like come do legs with me. So how
Yeah,
how,
right.
how do you deal with it? How do you focus on the good? Um, if there's any advice you could give any aspiring lifters who maybe face some of the same awful stuff that you've had to face.
I feel like I have a zero tolerance, like I have a zero tolerance policy with like hate now. So like if someone says anything, I just block them. I don't argue.
Okay.
Like I'm like, I just block you. I delete the comment, block. But I feel like recently it's been very positive on my Instagram, TikTok, and like Reddit and YouTube. I get some weird comments, especially about my body, or like that's a man, that's not a woman, or like whatever. And I'm like, okay, like here's my C-section scar, like
Yeah.
kiss my ass. But like I don't I don't really care anymore. Like Rogue will post us and like there's a lot of comments like, oh, those are guys, like, oh, they're all fat, this like wet mass moves mass. Like, shut up. Like you're on the couch, you're sitting there doing nothing. Like we're actually out there putting ourselves out there, like and literally putting ourselves out there for the world to see and trying to just make something of ourselves, like, and you're doing nothing. So it's like I used to cry about comments. Like I last year, Arnold, when I was at my heaviest, people were like, oh, she let herself go. And I'm like, I won. How did I let myself go? And I'm like,
Yeah.
they're talking about my weight, they're talking about my body,
I
they're talking
remember I
about,
remember you talking about that back then. And that's
yeah,
that's before we even followed each other. Because I remember because like yeah, you look pretty thick, but like you're powerful. Like you press like a
yeah.
crazy log. Even the post you posted today, I'm like, holy shit, is that like 310 pounds on the barbell? Like you're doing incredible
That
shit. And
was
sometimes guys do
353.
350 something, right? And because I was counting it,
Yeah.
I'm like, holy shit. And it's
And
like, guys,
people
like
were
people
literally
don't
saying
understand
that
how
about
much
belt.
mass you need to move mass. And I had somebody recently. So like, me, I kind of wanted to like show a little bit, maybe fall on the shield or the sword, where like I've known about strong woman, right? But I didn't follow it closely. I just wasn't that into it, right? Just like when I used to do bodybuilding, I would bodybuild and then I would leave. I wouldn't stay around and watch the females doing bikini. I respect them like they're athletes as well, but like wasn't my thing, right? I like to watch the dudes and go eat some lunch. But when I met you and you were on the team, right? So I was a little more invested than I was when like just Niko was posted. Because every time Niko posts you, I'd watch, but wow, this lady is incredible. And then when I met you, I instantly became a little more invested. I learned from you, first of all. I hit a 300-pound split jerk PR. Thank you, Nez. Um, and then I got to know you, and we've DM'd a bunch. And I mean, look, now you're the strongest woman on the planet, and you're jumping on my little podcast, which could get 30 views, it could get 100, right? And I appreciate you for that. We're friends now. And like, but genuinely, when you went to the Rogue, and I say this, I'm not bullshitting. Like I get excited to watch like Mitchell Hooper and the guys, right? Obviously, I'm a male strongman. I was more entertained watching you women, and I watched the Rogue the year before. I watched you win it. I was just more entertained, and not just by you. Like you women, like you guys went to fucking war. And on some of the events, like the weight selection, you guys were struggling a little bit, but like you could see the grit and determination, and you finished, right? Whereas like the yoke escalator, that's what it's called, right? That stairs, like even Hooper was dominating. And then I'm like, dude, what happened? Like, what's wrong with Hooper? And like a couple guys were just dying and just falling down, gasping for air. And I get it, right? You're heavyweight strongman, right? I'm not no shade, but like watching you ladies in comparison, it really is impressive. And I think if some people, it's not, maybe it's not for everybody, but if some people could like put the blinders on or just like watch with like an open heart or mind, it's impressive what you ladies do. And I'm going on a rant here, but like I want to tell you, like I stuck up and defend you guys. Like I made a post after the whole OSG thing because I knew what like some of my lady friends were going through in that moment because one person did something bad, right? Say what you will, and other women are facing hate for it. And it's like, whoa, 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 like you didn't go to OSG or another woman I know or whatever, you know? So it's like, I wanted to stand up. And even though I only get a few hundred likes or whatever, it's important for us to stand up for you ladies. And a while back, I reposted you because we're teammates, right? I reposted something you did. And like one of my friends, young, naive guy, he was like, oh, you know, I could be that strong too if I blasted roids, right? And I'm like, dude, I'm like, bro, first of all, you are strong. Don't sell yourself short, dude. He's just a young guy. But I was like, bro, like she's the strongest woman on the planet. There's 4 billion women on the planet, and there's only one of you, right? And there's 10 vying for the title, but there's only one of you doing what you do. And it's like, who cares if whatever she wants to put in her body? And I don't know, that's your business. But like, dude, who gives a fuck what she takes, what she looks like? Dude, one of one all time. Like, there's only one of you. And it's like, why people choose? So if I can educate even just my friend and try and get him to change his, because my perception has changed and change some of my friends, I won't tolerate it anymore. You know, to the point where like if he was going to keep going, I would just like be like, dude, respectfully, you're a good kid, but like if you don't grow up, I'm not going to be your friend anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and
But
you and I aren't even like close friends, but there's
that's
just
what,
I don't have room in my life for people like that.
yeah. But no, that's what it takes to like just standing up for one person. Like that's the trickle down effect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that starts a chain of, you know, like you would never hear that comment about a man. Like, oh, if I blasted stuff like, let's say Thor, I would deadlift like Thor. You would never hear that
Right.
ever. I'm, I've never heard one man ever say that in my life, right? But
Yep.
you'll hear that about the women, and it's like, why is there a comparison, you know, to a woman? Like it's to bring us down almost, but then it's like it makes you feel better type of thing. Like, oh well, I'm better than her if I did that, you know. And it's like,
Who came back to say hello?
hello, but it's like I never understood that. It's always just like, okay, and like be better
Yeah.
then. I
Yep.
I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm sorry, but I literally had a C-section almost 10 years ago now, and I started from nothing. I never really trained. Like I went to the weight room when I was in track and field, and my high school track coach will tell you I cried in the corner every day because I hated lifting. I didn't want to get bulky. I didn't want to get strong. I didn't want to do any of that because that the stigma was women should not look like that. Women shouldn't be like that. I want to be small. I want to be skinny. I want to be delicate. I want to be feminine. But it's like now I'm like, I don't care. I'm gonna freaking be huge. Like
Yeah.
Niko's got me doing shrugs. I say, Niko, stop with the shrugs because I have no neck now. I'm all trapped.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I bust out of all my clothes. He's like, sucks. Get over it. You know what I mean? But it's
You
like,
know, you know
yeah.
what's funny is when when you eventually want to wind down in your career, right? Like a lot of that will kind of go away. Like you look at like NFL linemen, like they're like 350 pounds. They're huge. I met a couple of them, right? And like when they retire and they're not force feeding their bodies and training that hard, like they like kind of come back to reality. You know what I mean? Like it's not permanent, you know. Whatever
Never,
you do, Nez, you gotta
I never was at a point where I'm like, I want to get small. Like I kind of just like, I want to be muscular. Like
yeah,
I like being big now. I like when I walk in a room and people are like, oh my God, like that's a big woman.
yeah.
Like I'm always been tall, but I've
The
never been like,
only the only time I worry about it, and obviously you deal with like negative comments, people who never seen a 6'3", 250 pound jacked woman, like holy shit, right? But the only time I worry as a man, the only time I worry about, I've had friends who have been like super muscular, right? Like Michael Connor type, right? And it's like,
mhm.
dude, when you if you go out to the bar or something, you get attention in the wrong way. There's always guys with little man syndrome or tough guys that are like, oh, you think you're like they'll get drunk, maybe get rejected by a girl or whatever. And I've seen fights break out from guys who are just nice. So usually people who are that muscular just don't put themselves in that position. As a woman, you probably don't have to be. I don't think women are getting in fist fights over like being jealous of your size, but with guys, happens all the time. Like little dudes will want to fight jacked dudes just to prove a point. So I worry about that. But I'm never like the biggest guy. I'm kind of got a sleeper build, you know.
Not the sleeper build. I love that.
Yeah. Well, right now, maybe not so much. I'm pushing 235 now, but
For
so
me,
yeah,
same way.
whatever you do, you gotta keep it going. And I know now, you know, in the past year you were down and out, but you got Niko, you got friends like me, you got a couple, you got really we have three other strong women. Four actually. If I'm getting Monica because Monica's up and coming and she had knee surgery. But we got five, right?
Five,
You,
yeah.
you,
Me, Dustin
Monica,
Morgan,
Destiny
Monica,
Morgan, and
Katie.
Katie. So you got five you got five incredible women just on like the main chat. And I'm sure there's more up and coming in the other chats that Niko's coaching. And the more success you guys all have, they're all going to join the team, right? So
What's funny is I basically poached all of them. So
did you?
yeah, they were like, "How's Niko as a coach?" And I'm like, "Join the team. Like, let's do it." I'm like,
Nice.
"I need some girls in this chat. Like, you guys are
You know
great
what's
enough."
funny is I don't try, right? There's a lot of stuff that happens in Strongman that
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like, oh, I had no idea. Like, I reposted somebody who said some pretty nasty shit about Evan and Niko, and I had no clue. And Rachel, our friend, let me know, and I'm like, oh shit, like I'm not going to repost that guy. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know because I'm kind of naive. So like when the girls joined the team, I'm like, did I wonder if Niko like cleared this with Nez? Because like clearly, like you know, what if Niko trains Katie to beat you, right? Obviously, you don't want to lose, but if Katie beats you, you'll probably shake your hand and be like, great fucking job. I'll get you next time, right? That's strong. So it's awesome that you want those girls on the team. Like, dude, I want my buddy Mike Ramirez back on the team. I want the smoke from Burley, even though Burley will eat my lunch with one arm tied behind his back. You know?
Let's take your lunch money, then eat your lunch.
So it's great. But we have some really strong women who maybe go through some of the same stuff you do. It's a great support system. And I was going to talk about that. Like, you know, you got Niko, you got the girls on the team, you got your son Lamar. I'm sure he loves you and supports you, obviously. Um, I had to look up his name because I didn't know his name, but your new love interest, Josh, right? You seem very happy, and he seems very supportive. Like it's great that you found each other because you've seemed so happy, like in the
Yeah.
gym and just in general. You know what I mean? Um, and Rachel and your friend Rachel, who's a really good friend. I don't know if you guys aren't. Is she back in Chicago or like
She's
across the
in
country?
California. She's
Uh,
actually on her way right now on a plane, and I'm gonna pick her up in like 30 minutes.
is she
So
out there permanently?
yeah, she lives in California
Oh, all
now.
right.
So
Because you guys live close, right? Like, weren't you like best friends?
yeah, she was in her master's program in Chicago. So that whole summer we
Uh,
basically spent together. But she had to move back to California once that was over. But
we gotta get
we
you both to
FaceTime
Massachusetts.
all
The
the time.
problem is Massachusetts is the most expensive state. Mass and Cali. It's like maybe we could talk Niko and everybody moving out midway. Maybe we should all move to Iowa or train with Burley and
Midwest,
Morgan.
Midwest. No, let's
Yeah,
just go to the Midwest. We
let's
got
all
Dan
get
and
out there and just have a
everybody. Yeah,
GWO gym. Open up a GWO gym. I'll invest in it.
let's do it.
So all right, let's get to the good stuff and the Arnold. What uh
Yeah,
what events I had to so we're at
the
about
Mac.
do you have time? We're at about 50 minutes.
Yeah, I got about 10 more minutes. So
All right, perfect. Let's do the Arnold real quick. Let me look up events. What event are you most excited for?
I'm actually most excited for this is gonna sound crazy, but the circus dumbbell. I've never said that in my life.
All right.
I was a certified dumbbell hater, but once you figure out your positioning and you can click it, you figure Niko literally was just like, we just need to figure out where you need to put your elbow. That's it. Cause I was always like here, here, here. Once I figured out how to rack it like this and my elbow was in front
Yep.
and I was able to get my wrist under, I can press it like a log. It's like a neutral grip.
Yeah.
I can't do that like how Lucas had him like pulls it behind. I don't
Yep.
have the
Or
size to
DJ
do that.
Doggett.
Yes, I
Yeah.
can't do or like some girls they literally have it like sideways. I
Yep.
don't have the mobility to do
I used
that.
to do that.
So
I used to listen to the ocean, kind of like Doggett. Doggett's just got such long arms after I met him that he's here, and it's incredible. He's gifted with his leverages. But Mike Ramirez taught me to get that elbow in and
yeah,
pack the lat and really make a shelf. That way, when you use your legs, which you have the most powerful legs in female strongman, you're just shooting it up and catching it. Is it
yeah.
a max or is it a ladder?
So it's a ladder max. So you can kind of pick the weight you want to do and like you can hit it for reps, you can go up, and it's like you get points based off of which one you hit.
Oh, that's
So
interesting.
we got a plan to like try to hit the 205. So we only got 90 seconds though. So
Do you,
that's a
do you
big
have to if you hit the two like if you hit the 205 for one, does it trump everything else?
yes.
Or oh okay,
It's
so like
yeah, everything trumps the
yeah.
other. So
And if you God forbid if you were to miss the 205, can you go down?
go back down. Yep.
Okay, because if not, you would probably hit the lighter weights. All right, so it's kind of like a max. All right, I was gonna say the only
It's a weird event. It's weird. Some of these events are weird. They kind of
because you
did
got to be
this
careful. You don't want to rush. That's
exactly. And you only have 90 seconds though. So
yeah, that's cool though. I would say rush in case you were worried about split times, right? Because that's what I did at OSG, and I looked at my buddy and I was ahead of him. He's way better at dumbbell, me and Doyle, and I rushed and it cost me, but whatever, water under the bridge. But I think you got 205. Let's get it. And then you got an elephant bar deadlift,
Ew.
stone to shoulder, stone to shoulder. You should fucking kick
I
ass.
zeroed that stone 2 years ago.
Is it
So
a natural stone?
it's the rectangle one, the one that I
Oh,
zeroed, and I fell backwards with it. But my face
see,
was also like this big.
yeah. So you coming back for revenge on that?
Coming back for revenge. I've hit a 315 sandbag to shoulder, very similar size and shape, for two. And I'm able to bend back. Niko's like, we're going to use that to our advantage. He's like, instead of holding it sideways, we're going to do it the lean back way. We're going to just roll that thing up and just turn it. And I'm like, let's do it,
Yeah.
And that's one where he's like, if it doesn't work, look at me and we're going to figure it out on the fly. Because that's an event that AJ's going to whoop some ass on. And I got to whoop ass right back. So.
Yeah, she crushed. I remember watching her at one of the Arnolds, and she like the one she won. And she like there was a stone that year, right? Yeah, she like it was incredible watching do those stones. It's funny you said the sandbag, and I'm reminded because like we have our own little competition, right? It's a one-sided. I'd say in my mind because like I selfishly I want to try and be stronger than the strongest woman in the world in some stuff, which I am in some stuff, right? But you passed me in sandbag to shoulder. My PR is 300. And you haven't passed me in circus. Did you hit the 200 dumbbell?
197.
Okay, so I'm like 3 pounds ahead of you on the dumbbell. So if you hit 205 at the competition, you're passing me. Yeah, you got me. And then you're gonna whoop my ass on the stone too in a couple months. So it's like Jesus Christ, I'm 41 guys, I'm getting old, but I gotta try and like chip away at Nez here. Like if we could have some fun on the next podcast and like pick a fair 5 event show where like
I'm like log, axle, circus dumbbell, stone.
I would give it to you. I would let you have a log and an axle in it, depending, one of them maybe from a rack or something or a Viking press. But then maybe we have a deadlift, which I should take in a dead. But like we'll do that next time. It would be hilarious. But yeah, you got to give me something, Naz. We got to have 2 events you're good at, 2 events I'm good at, and then one that we're like even.
Niko can pick. Niko's pick.
Yeah, Niko, let's put it together. We'll have a summit, dude. Let's fly out to Chicago and make it happen next year. And then dude, what's hilarious, Nez, is like that's the type of shit. We'll get a videographer because like that could be like when I don't think it was John McEnroe. It was back in like the 70s, like the best female tennis player in the world played like somebody lower ranked just to like prove a point. And it's because like everybody says, oh, how would they do? You know what I mean? Like almost like pros versus Joes. I always say like at OSG, they should have just a random dude. I think Lavelle just did it on I only watched the first episode so far on Nature Walk, where he just has like the cameraman come in and try and lift what the boys are lifting to see like how they can do. All right, we got 5 minutes, right? Less than 5 minutes. Let's get this in. You're gonna be in the animal cage. What are you hitting in there? You and Niko are in the animal cage on Sunday.
Yes. So I was supposed to hit the dumbbell in the animal cage, but situation happened a few days out, and they were kind of like, well, what do you want to do? And I'm like, Niko, what do you want to do? So we kind of decided on we're going to put 405 on my bar. We're going to put 600 on his bar. We're going to wrap up and we're going to go head to head on a squat and see who can hit the most amount of reps, which I think is awesome because I think in reps, I can hit 405 for close to 20. So
oh my God.
I don't want to, I've hit 425 in sleeves for 11. So I'm like, I'm a good squatter. People are like, oh, Dad, no, I like to squat. Yeah. I have a national squat record for USPA still.
There's another one. You're breaking my heart, Nez. There's another one you got me in then because my squat is me and squat have a bad relationship right now. All right, I got to let you go, right? Because you only have a couple minutes. But we had a couple questions. I put a question box on Instagram, right? It was last minute kind of, but I got a couple questions. Somebody wants to know, I would tell you who, but maybe it'll give it away. Who is her favorite powerlifter from Team GWO named Hunter?
That's a good question. Probably Hunter.
You'll meet Hunter in a couple of days.
I can't wait. I'm very excited.
Shout out to Hunter. Maybe we'll listen to this podcast together in the Airbnb. And then Mary Thiessen Lappin. You know who she is?
Her. Yes.
Okay. She asked, ask her if she wants to do a silly reel with me when we're there at the Arnold.
Let's do it. I'm so down. And when I have time, I'm down to make content. I want to make TikToks. AJ, Olga, and I got some TikToks, and Jackie, we got some ideas. I love silly reels. If you got an idea and I am free, let me know. I am down.
That's awesome. Give me 1 second, Nez. You know what I should have done was,
I
you
got
know,
like challenged for the chocolate grip like booth, and they basically did a most wanted, and they called me out and was like, "You are the most wanted." And then if I show up to the booth, they're gonna donate in my name for like a charity for like children's like lifting or something. I
oh,
don't
that's
even.
awesome.
It's like I'm gonna show up and like yeah, but I think that's really cool.
I was trying, my Instagram's acting up. I can't answer the questions right now because I should have thought to like video you answering the
Oh
questions
yeah.
and tag
Well, now
Mary
let's
right now.
watch it.
But what I'll do is when I chop this up tomorrow, I'll make that little snippet, I'll put on my story and answer. You can directly answer her question. Might be the first time anybody's ever done anything like that. Nez, any before we go, I'll see you in a couple of days. Looking forward to it. But thank you for coming on.
Of
Any
course.
sponsors or anybody you want to shout out, say hi to, anything like that?
Yeah, no, Cerberus, you've been great. Ken, you are the best. You're in the Boston area, which is awesome. And like, thank you for showing up to the seminar. Like, you've been there since day one of my strongman career, and you've always believed in me. So I really always shout out Cerberus. Um,
Ken's
Jan
awesome.
Todd, thank you for inviting me to Arnold every year and like remembering me and like, keeping me. You never had to invite me back. I was always top five, but like, you always believed in me. And, on the phone the other day, she was like, you're the GOAT right now. She's like, you're the girl to beat. And I was like, can you say that again so I can record that? Like, so I can like make that my ringtone or something. Like,
Uh,
Jan Todd just said that, but like, I think that's cool. So like, always Jan Todd, she's a big hero of mine. And, Niko, always, I love you, dude. Like, you're literally the reason why I'm here today doing this crazy sport. And like, I could have just done CrossFit or so. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't have done CrossFit, but like, I wasn't going to come back. And now that I'm coming back, I'm really excited. And I'm just like, I have like a new fuel, a new fire in me that like hasn't been there in a while, but like
yeah.
with a broken foot and everything, I'm like, dude, it's on. Like, let's go.
Yep.
I love being doubted because I'm like, that just makes me like so
It's
much more
awesome.
amped.
It's awesome. It's awesome to see and like that drive and energy and fire that you have now and the passion and like seeing you at the Rogue. I can't wait to see you in person compete again this weekend. And like it shines through on the competition floor. Like you're having fun and you execute. And then when you match those two things up and you hype up the crowd afterwards and you're fired up, you're doing this shit. Like it's just contagious and it's awesome. And that's what's going to grow the sport. So I really look forward to seeing you. The only regret I have is I'm coaching the boys, or I don't know who I'm coaching yet. I might be coaching the ladies or the boys, but I'm coaching when you're in the finals, day two. So I'll be in the crowd on day one, but day two, I'm just gonna have to listen to the roar. Hopefully
Oh,
the amateur competition's close by.
I made room for another one, so let's hope.
Let's go.
I got
Let's get
I
it.
got space, so let's see. We'll see. We're gonna try to
Get it.
bring it home.
I wanna hold the trophy when we take a team photo after the show.
It's heavy, so let's go.
Let's get it. All right, Naz, thank you again. I'll see you in a couple of days. All right.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Bye.